Newcastle in talks with Eddie Howe over becoming new boss, with Steve Bruce facing sack this week after Saudi takeover. Eddie Howe is in talks to become Newcastle bosses, with Steve Bruce facing the sack this week as part of the new Saudi owner's management shake-up. Howe, 43, is reportedly in discussions to take over at St James Park, with current boss Bruce looking increasingly likely to leave his post following the club's poor start to the season. The Magpies are currently 19th in the league, having failed to win any of their opening 8 games and losing 5, including Sunday's 3-2 loss to Spurs. But the club's new owners want them to be challenging for silverware in the near future and reportedly believe that Howe is the right man for the job. Howe took Bournemouth from League One to the Premier League in just 3 seasons and kept them up for 4 years until they were finally relegated in 2019-20. It was thought that Newcastle were lining up former Arsenal boss Unai Emery to take over from Bruce, with Rangers' Steven Gerrard and Belgium's Roberto Martinez also options. But Howe, who has been out of management for over a year, has now emerged as the frontrunner, with the new owners reportedly keen to avoid making enemies by poaching other clubs' managers. Newcastle would be only Howe's 3rd club as manager after a brief stint as Burnley boss in 2011-12 in between his 12-year stint with the Cherries. Join Sun Vegas, get a free £10 bonus with 100s of games to play, and no deposit required. TSNCS apply. Howe took over at Bournemouth when they were in League Two in 2008 and finally parted ways with the club by mutual consent in 2020 following the club's relegation to the Championship. He had looked set to become Celtic boss in May, only for the appointment to fall through, with the club eventually naming Ange Postecoglou as Neil Lennon's replacement. If appointed, Howe would be responsible for overseeing a huge squad overhaul at Newcastle, with the club linked to a number of star players in recent weeks. Jesse Lingard and Ross Barkley have been touted with potential moves to St James Park, in addition to Burnley's James Tarkowski and Wonderkid Dusan Vlahovic, who could cost as much as £50 million. Howe would reportedly have up to £200 million to spend in January and could also look to recruit some big-name players from abroad to shore up his squad. International talents such as Nabil Fekir, Adrian Rabiot and Felipe Coutinho have all been linked with moves to Tyneside since their £300 million takeover. But Newcastle must be careful to ensure they do not breach financial fair play rules with frivolous spending